Hello, welcome to our review of season 3 of The Mandalorian. My name is Suge, and I'm here with Mr. JayThe6. How you doing, Mr. J?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, always a pleasure to have you on. We're gonna be going through the Mandalorian seasons and reviewing it. Me and Mr. J, we might have some other people jump on, but it'll be consistently me and him all the episodes, and we might even do a live episode for the last episode of the season. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome. And Mr. J, before we get started, uh, how long have you been a Star Wars fan? Have you always been a Star Wars fan, or are you new to the franchise, or how did you get into it?
Since when I was a kid, ever since I can remember, just watching the old episodes, like playing the little games on PlayStation 2 with my cousin. I had them when I went over there, like what it was called, like the Old Republic. Then it was like the one on PS3. What was it called?
Not Fallen Order. It's the oh my god, it's the one with the guy. I can't think of it.
Either.
I
used to play.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of the name right now.
There's a 1 and 2. Then the one with the then when the one that came on PS4 and again on PS5 called the Fallen Order. And then they have another one coming out soon, part 2. But like I've always been attracted to like sci-fi stuff. So like General Grievous, Yoda, Anakin, Darth Vader, Darth Sidious, and General Palpatine, all them. Yeah, it's.
So the game we were thinking of, Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed
is the game we were thinking of. Yeah, I couldn't think about it because I actually didn't play that game.
Really?
With you. Yeah, I was. I'll be honest with you. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. The game I played most of Star Wars was the Star Wars Nintendo 64 Shadow of the Empire, that is like elite game back when I was growing up. That was the game, and it had like an alternate ending if you beat the hard setting, which now is like that's getting platinum in games now. But back then it was you had this hard setting because when you play the game on regular, you don't know what happens at the end. It just cuts, and then if you play it on hard, then you see what happens. So it was like a little Easter egg. But yeah, I wasn't the biggest Star Wars fan. Mandalorian's actually kind of got me back into Star Wars. I did like The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi. Everybody has their issue with it, and The Rise of Skywalker I saw in theaters. And the prequels, I actually saw all 3 in theaters. My brother, who's older, he saw all 3 original movies in theaters. So I've seen all the Star Wars movies. I've been ingrained in them. Rogue One, all that stuff. But I wasn't just the biggest fan. But Mandalorian has kind of got me back into it, and it's kind of got me hyped, especially after the first 2 seasons,
right.
Especially after the second season, which was dope. And then we'll obviously talk about Mando 2.5, which was the Book of Boba Fett, where it was all Boba Fett, and then all of a sudden the last 3 episodes was just about the Mandalorian.
I don't think he wasn't even in those episodes, if I remember correctly.
Which ones?
The last 3, right?
Yo, he was. Mandalorian was in the. Yeah.
No, I'm saying like Boba Fett wasn't.
Yeah, Boba Fett wasn't really in. Yeah. Well, he was in like in the last one, but like the 2 before that, like he wasn't in them. It was all about the Mandalorian. We saw Luke. You were talking about it. We saw Ahsoka and things like that. It was like, wait, isn't this the Book of Boba Fett? Now I just say those last couple of episodes are Mandalorian 2.5 because now we have Mandalorian season 3.
Right.
But those last 2 episodes were setting up for Mandalorian season 3 because, like you said, there were some things that happened. And the first part of this review, we'll go kind of non-spoiler and just your overall thoughts on what you saw and how excited you are to see Mandalorian have a 3rd season. Were you excited about it, or were you concerned of where they can go with the story, or what were your thoughts overall when you heard we were going to have a Mandalorian season 3?
I was very excited. Like back when with season 1 dropped, kind of when like Disney Plus was first introduced, and it was like a bundle, like I think it was Verizon or something. It was like I remember it was like a bundle with it. That get Disney Plus so you can watch the Mandalorian like for all through that year, blah blah blah. But the way season 2 ended. Very heartwarming because we've seen. Well, now we know his real name Grogu and pretty much Mando. Well, I ain't gonna say his real name, but Mando developed like a father or son bond, and when Luke comes in slaying everybody,
yeah,
pretty much slaying everybody, and he said, "Hey man, I'm here to take the kid. You already know what it is." And you see, like, hey man, I've been through all this heartache to get you back, and now you gotta go with the people because he's. I don't think I think the show he's not of Yoda's origin, but because he's small, green skin, everybody think he's Yoda, but he's not. But he does have the powers of the ways of the Force, so
yeah,
to be trained properly. So, of course, and I think in the Luke has said, hey, he needs your permission because Grogu was not going. He was not leaving without him. And but when he removes his helmet, knowing he knows that's not the way, he's going to have to pay for that. That was serious. That was a serious moment. Like, yo, I'm taking my helmet off for you. Like, this is how much I love you. I'm thinking, like, man, I hope this continues because that angle, like, that made me cry. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like being a father. It's my son. That made me cry. Like, I don't know what I'd do. I have to give up my son to go ways for some time, while I just go back to my home world or whatever, empty-handed after all I've been through.
Yes, especially like you said, they developed a relationship in the first 2 seasons. Especially in the first season, there was a lot that happened at the end of that where he almost died for him. So yeah, it becomes almost a father-son relationship. And even in the first season, the other Mandalorian, who the armorer, she talks about it. She's like, he's your foundling now, so you're responsible for him. And so Mando kind of takes that on. And you're right, he removes the helmet in order to show, like, hey, you mean this much to me that I know by removing this helmet, I'm gonna have face consequences, but I'm gonna do it for you. And there's even an episode in season 2 where he does remove his helmet to get into the Empire thing, and he knows this, and then the guy he's with tells him, like, I'll never tell that you removed your helmet. So he did a lot for Grogu, and you talked about him living with Luke. You then see prior to that where he brings Grogu to Ahsoka, and that was kind of gut wrenching because she talks about Anakin. Like, this is the first time. Like, if you've watched the cartoons, like, that was very heart wrenching and everything like that. But this was like live action, and she talked about it. She said, "I've seen what a fully trained Jedi, what emotions can do," and and she's talking about Anakin, and then we obviously in Book of Boba Fett we get a interaction between Luke and Ahsoka, something we would never have thought of, and she says that you remind me of your father, and it's crazy of what Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are bringing to the Mandalorian universe, even though it has nothing to do with the Skywalkers. It does still have some. They're tied in, and it's really dope to see. And so, you in the Book of Boba Fett, you obviously see that Grogu comes back to go be with Mando, and they take off. They're gonna go take off, and they're gonna go do season 3, obviously, and Boba goes and does his own thing. So now we get in our season 3, and we'll start talking about spoilers and everything. So if you haven't seen Mandalorian, the first episode, please make sure to go watch it before continuing. The first episode is called the Apostate. I'm horrible. Yeah. And check that out. But going into spoilers, so we see Mando. Actually, it opens up, and I thought this was a flashback because you see the armory Mandalorian put a helmet on a young person, and tells them you can't never take the helmet off. And so I'm thinking, oh, it's a flashback. That's Din Djarin when he was a kid. This is where he said he would never take his helmet off, and we know he does. But then you see an alien alligator attack, basically, which is crazy because just this week, and this is kind of a tangent, a 80-year-old lady in Florida got attacked by an alligator. She's walking her dog by the river, and it went to get the dog, and it missed and got her and dragged her into the water and killed her. So that was crazy. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh shit! This is like, this is a time to bring that up," you know.
Right.
But so they so this alligator attacks, and so you're thinking, "Oh shoot, okay, this is where he kind of got things were happening," but then you see actual Mando show up, and he uses he uses the spaceship, shoot the alligator, kills it, and he comes to talk to the armor Mandalorian and says, "Hey, I'm gonna go back to Mandalore." And how do I repent myself? Because he took off his helmet, and she tells him, "Hey, you're no longer you're no longer part of our group of Mandalorian because you weren't supposed to take your armor off, his helmet." And so she says, "Okay." He says, "Okay, well, what can I do to redeem myself?" She's like, "Well, there's not much." He goes, "Well, what if I go back to Mandalore and bathe myself? I believe in the I forgot what they called it.
The Living Waters.
Yeah. What if I go bathe myself in that water?" And she says, "Well, Mandalore's poisoned. The top of the planet's poisoned now, and all the stuff." And he pulls out like a rock from where he got in, I believe, Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett, and says, "Read this inscription." And she goes, "Oh, where did you get that?" And he explains it to her. So then, like, so I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna find it, and if I do this, will I be accepted back? And so she pretty much says, "Yeah, this is the way." What was your thoughts on that opening scene? Were you surprised that wasn't a flashback, or did you kind of know it wasn't a flashback, or what were just your overall thoughts on that opening scene of The Mandalorian season 3?
Yeah, I was throwing off too. I thought it was a flashback too. But it was kind of I thought it was a flashback. The in the back of my head was kind of weird. I'm like, wait a minute. Like I seen the scene like what you call like Mandalorian 2.5. Like I seen them escape or beat that scorpion droid. They kind of like fly off. So I'm like, why would they open with the flashback? Then again, but then he comes out of nowhere and blast that hole in the crocodile. Like the whole Mandalorian tribe or what's left of them been trying to fight it, and they've been having no success. That he just comes and do it in one swoop. And I think that kind of tells you like how much he's learned over the seasons, over his time with Grogu. Like, hey, y'all doing this like y'all way, but hey, this is what I've learned. Just really blow a hole right here. Now with this flamethrower, it's like, well, the bounty hunters, like they got the jetpacks, they got the flamethrower, they got the bombs, they got the little rocket missile on their back. He's like, no, screw that. I'm just gonna blow a hole right in the side. It saved me some time. Everybody, because the space crocodile or whatever you call it was tearing everybody up. Like nobody was going to defeat it. Everybody's getting eaten, slaughtered, and here he comes. And,
no bad.
But I understand like the armory. Like I'm glad he told. I don't know how I forgot how she found out, but I guess he just knows. I'm glad like he has the chance to redeem himself though. So because he's like he really wants to be a part of the tribe again, but she understands. Like he understands like what he's going through, trying to keep the filing, safe and sound. And he's like, you know what, this is the way. If you do all that, I'll allow it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it was in the Book of Boba Fett where he goes to show the Darksaber to them.
Yeah,
and he tells her like, "Look, I took my helmet off." Like he's being honest, and she's like, "Well, you're no longer part of our part of our guild anymore, or our group." And then but then now she tells him, "Okay, if you can go do this, then we'll accept you back." So then he takes off and he goes to go see Apollo Creed. Apollo looking good for his age, man. He didn't Drago didn't really take him out. Shout out to Carl Weathers, looking awesome, awesome. But he goes to see him, and he's changed. He's turned where he's at into a city, a prosperous city. They're mining, bringing in money. He talks about how the bars used to be that are now schools. And he's trying to be, very, give a good place instead of what it used to be of, a bunch of mercenaries and bounty hunters. He's like, no, I want people to be able to live here. One of the things I didn't put it on here, but one of the things that they mention is they talk about Moff Gideon and they talk about Cara Dune, and we obviously know Cara Dune. I can't even think of her name right now. It just blanked my mind. Gina Carano. She had some issues season 2 with some of the things she had tweeted out, and so they basically fired her from Mandalorian.
Oh, that's why. So,
was that?
I was looking. Well, before I had watched season 3, I just saw that online. Like, it was on my timeline or one of my social media timelines. Like, somebody you said, I'm thinking like, why she got let go? Like, oh, I'm not watching it. Well, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not watching it without her. I'm thinking like, why not?
Yeah, I mean, they wrote her off the show, and they did her. I mean, for what they could have done, and what they did it respectfully. They wrote her off the show. They're like, oh yeah, she got taken, because she got promoted and joined a special force or something like that, and she's off doing something else. Like they could have been like, oh, we killed her or whatever, but they didn't. And so, however you want to take it, like if you're really not going to watch the show because of that, well, then you just don't get to enjoy it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna watch it. We all have opinions and things like that, and if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. If you want to watch it, watch it. But they explain that, and they talk about how Moff Gideon got taken and he's in prison basically. And so Mando goes, and we know from the first 2 seasons, especially the first season, he did not like droids. Right. You obviously saw that with IG-11, and he's and not trusting droids. And so he tells Grief, hey, I need a droid. So in the middle of the city, IG-11's a statue. Like half of his body is a statue, and he's like, I need him. And he's like, well, he's a statue. Like there's not that much left of him. He's like, I don't care. I need him. So he's like, all right. So they take him down, and he hotwires him to get power. And IG-11's I forgot, it's a processor, but it's
like
I forgot what no, it wasn't a circuit, but it was like what he's supposed to do. I'm blanking. This is so bad. But basically, whatever his objective is. So when he died, his objective was to protect Grogu. He was the babysitter, basically. But it was messed up. So his last objective before that was to kill Grogu.
Right.
So they powered him up, and he went to try to kill Grogu, and so they stop him, and he goes to I forgot his who's the guy from Rise of Skywalker? My apologies, I should know all this stuff, but Baba Freak. I think his name is Baba Freak.
The reptilian looking dude, or somebody else I'm thinking about.
Not Baba Freak. No, Baba Freak. Babu Freak is his name. He was in Rise of Skywalker, so he's in this movie. He has a couple of little companions, but he's the little guy, and he's trying to fix IG-11, and like Grogu hugs him and messes with him, and so he tells Mando, hey, we need to get this part for him to work. So Mando's like, all right, well, I'll go get it. I'm gonna go get this part. And prior to that, Grief has some space pirates that are trying to cause problem, and him and Mando take them out. And so, we transition to he's gonna go get this part, and the space pirates kind of show up and mess with them. They obviously weren't gonna do anything because they're just space pirates. Mando is the lead of the show, so they're not gonna pose any threat. Before we get into what happens after that, what were your thoughts of him coming to Grief, trying to revive IG-11, and any all that happened in that part of the episode? Did you not hear me?
Oh, it was frozen for a little bit. Like, what happened?
Okay. So I was saying, what were your thoughts of that part of the episode where he goes to see Grief and he's trying to revive IG-11 and all that stuff?
For me, I thought it showed growth. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
For me, I thought it was
I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
I thought it showed growth that he's trusting that he needs a droid. That foreshadows us that hey, whatever he got to do on Mandalore is deadly because that was an assassination droid. So if you need help like that, you already know you in some deep stuff. And I thought he could have did better with trying to preparing. You know, when it came to hot wire, when it came to life, like I thought, he got too relaxed. So we saw him. So I think that's kind of. I wouldn't count it as a weakness, but it's like I think he's slipping a little bit,
Yeah, for sure.
Because when we first see him, he's all hard, like, "Oh, this is the way," blah blah blah. But that right there, that could have got him or Grogu killed because we all know how hard it is to take down an assassin droid if you don't know what you're doing.
For sure.
And it's not like they're Jedi; they can't just use the Force or slice slice the way I did. I'm like, nah. It's either with your weapons or your left and your right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he does have the Darksaber, but he actually, and we'll go into the next part of the show. He talks about having the Darksaber, but yeah, that's probably the only thing that's going to stop one of those IG assassin droids. Is a lightsaber, and he has a Darksaber, but he's not a Jedi, so he doesn't wield it correctly. We saw that in Book of Boba Fett. But he goes to see Bo-Katan in a Mandalorian city, and she is just chilling, like somebody on the couch.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Like there's nobody else around. She just like posted up. I'm thinking like, all right.
Yeah, but she explains why. She goes, I showed up with not the Darksaber, and all my people just said, all right, well, we're out. Peace out. You don't have it. We're good. And they left me, and now they're mercenaries, because I don't have the Darksaber. And she kind of goes at Mando about his version or their version of the Mandalore, and calls them a cult and everything like that, and tells them like just wave the Darksaber around and they'll follow you, and he's asking her. Go ahead.
Okay. I thought that was important because if you watch the Star Wars Rebels. You understand how like where it kind of comes from too, like waving the Darksaber around and everybody on that believes in the Darksaber like that will bend the knee and follow whoever wills it. But yeah, the Darksaber been passed around, been seen a lot throughout several Star Wars name episodes, like shows, like I said, the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels. You see it in the first season. When Moff Gideon raises it, has it for somehow. Yeah, we all thinking like, how the hell did he get it?
Yeah, I mean, and then in season 2, Bo-Katan, she's like, I need to get it from him so I can rule Mandalore. But she looks very depressed. She looks very pissed off. And he gets the information that he wanted from Bo-Katan about where to go in Mandalore to get to the where he needs to get to. And she's making sly comments to him, things like that, but he leaves. And so, do you think Bo-Katan's going to be in this season, or is that the only time we're going to see her?
I don't know. That's really that was the only part of the episode where it's like she could be. I know she's mad. She's pissed about her body posture. We could see her coming through kind of the. Here's my guess. Like she's gonna come through when Mando's gonna get stuck somehow out of nowhere. She's gonna come and help him or save him somehow or save them.
Did she come for the Black Saber?
That too. Is
she gonna help him, or is she coming for the Black Saber? You know the posture she had, Jay? Yeah. She looked like she got beaten mad in like 7 times in a row, and now she pissed. Like she's mad now. She's like, no, like I'm pissed because she had her knee up. The helmet was right there. I didn't download the picture, but she has the knee up, the helmet right there, and she is just burning eyes through him while he's walking there. And he's like, hey, where's your people at? And she's like,
how funny. You know what happened.
Yeah, and so it's like, she's like, I don't even want to talk to you. But yeah, does she come for the dark saber, or is she coming to actually help Mando? We'll have to
I
see.
think it's a little bit of both. Like I think it's a little bit of both. Like I think it's gonna be, and this is just my guess. Like, hey, if I help you out of this situation, you got to give up the dark saber, and it's gonna be a situation where, hey, if he doesn't help him, Grogu is in trouble because he doesn't know how to use the Force fully yet. Like you've seen
Yeah.
glimpses, but he's not. He's like, hey, man, he's still a little teensy weensy. I mean, there's been guesses on his age. He's like what, 25, 50? Somewhere between 25 and 50, but still in the I
No,
guess
it's like
so.
I think it's 500, 500 years.
I'm way off there, but still he's still small. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I because I think we saw in season 2 that Bo-Katan says the only way you can get the dark saber is you got to beat somebody in combat.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're correct, but I think it's going to be, hey, I'll help you, but after this, we're going to fight.
Yeah,
And
something like that. Yeah,
and you're gonna, and if I win, I'm taking the dark saber. But that means I can try to, I'm gonna try to kill you, like not because remember he tried to offer it to her. He was like, here, I'll give it to you. She was like, no, and he's like, okay, well, we got to fight. All right, cool, I give up. I tap out.
That's
And she's like, no, yeah. So I think you're right. I think she's gonna try to help him, but then it's gonna be a situation where she says, no, we're gonna fight at the end of this. Um, and I think you're right. I don't think this is the last we see of Bo-Katan.
Yeah,
I think she's
that'd
going to
be
be
weird.
back.
Yeah, that would be
It would be weird unless they were trying to set up something for if there was going to be a season 4, but I don't think so. But I'm not sure. But going into she tells him where he needs to go in Mandalore. So leads me to my next. What will we find in Mandalore? We obviously know that people think the armory was telling Mando, "Hey, it's poisoned. The whole because of what happened. It's poisoned in the surface." But he was showed her that rock, and he says it's not anymore. So I'm going to find out. Obviously, like you said, he's going to get a droid to probably check it and see, okay, is it really poison? Like things like that. So, what do you think we're going to find on Mandalore? Do you think there's Mandalores there already, or do you think we're going to find anything, or what do you think is going to happen on Mandalore?
I think that is going to be just as what people say it is, but not entirely. Like there's like a corner. There's like a corner of like whatever water he needs to bathe in left, but it's going to be super hard to get there. Like he says, because people say it's poison. There's nothing left after the purge. But it's like for me and my guess, there's like there's like a little bit of land. There's like a safe haven that he can do his thing. But it's going it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think we might find somebody on there. Obviously, in the trailer, we see something, which is more of a creature, which is speculated is a creature that was on Mandalore. I'm not sure. I saw that somewhere. I'm not sure how true it is, but it was an original creature on Mandalore. I think we might find people there. We're gonna find something when he goes there. But speaking of creatures that that come from different parts of the show, obviously you have the Rebels, you have the Clone Wars and things like that. In I believe it was Rebels, it was hinted about space whales. Um, and in this episode, we get space whales. We actually get a look at what these space whales called, which called called Purgle, and this is the first time we've seen them live action. Now this shot is just dope, because you're just seeing Mando's ship, and you just see these huge, shadows in hyperspace, and the Purgles. It is said that they say that these are whales that are able to oops, sorry, I was trying to take the other picture, are able to survive in space and able to go through hyperspace, which is actually the inspiration of someone who people that started building hyperspace because of these whales. And like I said, in Rebels, you had said this, you had told me this. Ezra, those space whales actually take Ezra, and so we see that in Rebels. So this is the first time we see live action. When you saw that, were you surprised? Were you like, I know what those are? Or were you like, wait, what are those? What was your reaction when you saw the space whales?
Yeah, I immediately knew what those were because, like you said, because of Rebels, because of how Rebels ended, where he had took Ezra and the dude he was fighting away, and like that was it. And when I saw it, I was looking like, oh man, like I said, I haven't seen it live action. I think this is the first time we've seen them in live action. And when Grogu kind of just wants, as Grogu does, he just stares off in deep space. No pun intended. and we see, I'm thinking like, is that going to be like a key that will kind of like help them once they get the Mandalore?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm thinking, and I'm cross my fingers. Do we see like a glimpse of Ezra? Do we see Ezra live action? I know that's like kind of super far fetched, but hey,
yeah, because we're assuming he's going to be in the Ahsoka series, but we do know from season 2, Ahsoka, when she was introduced, she talks about General Thrawn, which like you just said, Ezra and Thrawn were taken away together. So does this introduce Thrawn? Does this introduce Ezra? So there's a lot of speculation. It's kind of fun, like this is the first time we've seen space whales. It was dope. It was beautiful. The shot was gorgeous. You just see the little ship and you just see these big, massive shadows. That was dope as hell. But is there more to it? And that's gonna come along as the season goes along. So I thought that was pretty dope. I didn't know what they were. I actually had to look it up. But I thought it was pretty dope. Like I said, the shot was just beautiful to me, and how they were in space, and you see the hyperspace going by, and then you just also see these shadows just slowly drifting with the hyperspace. Like that was dope. So I really like that. So could they tie in? Maybe could they be a key? Maybe. We'll see. At that point when Grogu saw him, did he make communication with them? Because the Force, you can do that. You can Force connect. Did he do something like that? Who knows? But we'll see. I think Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau really will take things and make it unique, a unique direction for Star Wars. So I'm excited to see where this goes. So now let's just talk about our final thoughts and what do we think is going to happen next episode. Obviously, he's got to go get this part for IG-11. So we're obviously going to go back to where Grief is. And we're going to fix IG-11. So maybe this episode is about fixing IG-11, fixing his process, or getting him back to being a babysitter for Grogu, but also helping Mando go to Mandalore to figure out, is it still poisoned or whatever he's going to need IG-11 for. Is there any final thoughts on the episode before we talk about the next episode, or is there anything that you were disappointed or really liked or really concerned about? What are your final thoughts about this episode?
I thought it's what I expected. Not like a whole lot of like live action gun blasting stuff. Like like we're just gonna keep what we've been doing. Start out slow, build a story, to get people back into it, because it's been like a year or some change since season 2. So let's just slow down and not rush it. So I know there's gonna be some fans like, oh man, it's taking too long. I'm looking like this. That's what a good storytelling does. You don't get everything all at once.
For sure. I don't understand when people do that. They're like, oh, I want, and there's a couple people that we know that they want all the they want all the episodes out right now so they can just binge it. I'm like, I like the week to week. I don't want to consume it.
It's kind of when everybody had cable, before Netflix, before all these little like Peacock, all the, I ain't but list all of them, but you know what I'm talking about. But brings a time of that back where you had to wait a week, the anticipation, the thinking about what's going to happen next, the excitement. So I like that. That's what I grew up on, like watching like what's going to happen on the next episode of Eddie and Eddie, or the next episode of Scooby Doo, But next week find out, or if by Dragon Ball when they announced that took forever. Yeah.
That took forever. That was too long.
Like, will Goku do this? Will Yamcha, whatever? Will the Cyberman find out next on Dragon Balls? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it took Goku to go Super Saiyan 1 like 3 weeks. Like, good God, you could have done it in 1 week. But no, I agree with you. I like the week to week. It gives you time to digest it. It gives you time to think. It gives time to come up with your own theories, talk about it, and then the episode comes out. Because if you consume it all at once, once you consume it, you don't really get to talk because you already knows what happens. So you just go straight to it. You don't talk about the in between stuff. You don't talk about the little nods and hints and Easter eggs or connections that you see in the show when they just release all the episodes. So I like the way Disney's doing it. I know somebody that will watch this and complain and say, "No, I want all the episodes released." I'm not going to say who it is. They know who they are, but no, you don't get your way. You got to wait week to week. But yeah, I think. What do you think is going to happen next episode, or what do you want to happen next episode?
They're gonna go off. There's gonna be some difficulties because one thing we didn't talk about before is they run into the pirates, and as you know, like they've been big all across Star Wars again, especially in Rebels. But they show up again on. They show up and because I guess the captain or one of the captains is mad that the Mando shoots them all. Wild West style. Like six shooter style, and they come back for revenge, and they're trying to set him up with this bigger ship, and like Mando's like, I'm not about to deal with this. I can just press this button, peace.
Yeah, bounce. Yeah.
And I think the next episode should be, but not should be, but I think it's going to be like, we're going to get, they're going to get the peace, but it's not going to be, again, it's not going to be, there's going to be some trial tribulation where they grow a little bit more. We might see Grogu use the Force a little bit more because like I said before, we see him use the Force, but it's like I think for me it's time for fans to see him use the Force a little bit more because you've been training with Luke. If you watch the Book of Boba Fett, those episodes, he trains with Luke. He knows how to use it somewhat better than what he's been in season 1 and 2. So maybe we see that, or I don't know, anything of that, anything.
My question to you is, I was talking to somebody. Do you think they have the cojones to kill Grogu at the end of the season? If there's not another season, let's just say there's not another season. Do you think they would kill Grogu at the end of the season? Because, and the timeline is weird because you're getting different answers. But supposedly between season 2 and Book of Boba Fett and season 3, it's a 2-year gap. That Grogu was with Luke for 2 years. That was I believe confirmed by Jon Favreau. And we know that the Empire has fallen, so this is between the Last Jedi, or sorry, the Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. And we know that the Force Order hasn't risen yet. So this is the timeline in between. And if we know that, and it could be, obviously they made the last 3 movies and then they came to this. So obviously it's just continuity. But we don't see Grogu in the Force Awakens, in the Last Jedi, and Luke doesn't talk about him or anything like that. Do you think maybe they kill him in order to set Mando on a path of revenge, bloodlust, or anything like that? Or do we get, because we still have a Ahsoka series coming, or some other series they had, Andor series and everything like that. What do they do with Grogu? Because like you said, do we want to see him? Like, I want to see him use a lightsaber now. I want to see what he does with the lightsaber. He has a little bit of training, but like you said, not a lot. But he knows more than what he did before. So, do they kill Grogu off at the end of the season? Would they do that? What do you think?
That's gonna break the internet. Like, you think people are mad that because old girl not in the season 3 now? What? I don't think they do. I think they continue it. I think Grogu stays alive, but he's more advanced. Like he said, I want him to pick up a lightsaber. No, I'm sorry. I want him to pick up a lightsaber, might be different. What was the thing called? Cyber crystal. Because I'm kind of tired of seeing the green, the blue. I want to see something like Ahsoka, because Ahsoka got the
white. She had white. Yeah, Ray has yellow. Mace Windu had purple,
and the only purple one you've seen. It's been like what? And Star Wars been out forever. Like it's been out for a long time. So so who knows what color Grogu gets? If it's green or blue, fine, whatever. Continue that tradition.
Orange would be dope.
Something different. But I think,
or he gets the dark saber. Could you imagine him? Because he is a Jedi and he can wield that. Could you imagine that he got the dark saber?
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
That would be kind of dope.
But yeah, I want to see Grogu finally grow, because for me the cuteness is. I don't think the cuteness is. What's the word I look for? It doesn't do it for me no more. Now it's time to add. Because we see him in a previous episode. He can stop like a rhino, like a huge rhino.
Yeah,
and he can do that. He can you saw the opening a little bit. He can Force get jelly beans. I'm like, man.
Yeah, he was spinning himself in the chair. So he can use the Force. He knows what he's doing.
But yeah, I think I want to see him do more. I think this season he does more. I want him to see like that. That'd be crazy if he does wield a dark saber. But for me personally, I need to see more.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think it's going to come in the next episode, but it's kind of like towards the middle end,
Yeah, but it's like, how do you top Luke showing up next year?
Right.
Like, in season 2, how do you top that? And I think the way to top it would be like Mando's in trouble, and he picks up the dark saber and just starts cutting fools down, tearing them up. Like, that would be dope as hell. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be exciting to see. I'm excited to see what happens the rest of the season, and I hope if you're watching this, you're excited. We're going to be doing this. We'll be recording this and then releasing it. Try to release it out by Saturday. So make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. If you enjoy this, give us your thoughts on the first episode. Let us know what you thought, what you hope to see, and how did you like the space whales? Did you enjoy them? Did you not enjoy them? Let us know. Mr. J, before we get out of here, let the people know where they can find you, follow you, and anything you're doing currently on the internet.
Again, my name's JayThe6. You can type that in anywhere. That's pretty much me. Find me on Twitch mainly, streaming numerous games, various games. I'm mainly on PS5, but you might catch me playing Metal Gear Solid on the Xbox or Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch. Occasionally, I'll be on Suge, like that, not like show, but the Suge's channel or LBHC or our friend Hendo show. So I'm all over the place.
we're gonna get him on hanging with Hendo on Saturday night. That crazy show that we did for 3 hours.
It was fun. Actually, that was like my first time actually doing this, because I'm not really. I'm trying to get into YouTube more. I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone. I think this is the year for that, because like I said, I've been streaming live, so it's not much of a difference.
Yeah, for sure. And if you like gaming, Jay does really good gaming. He's a lot better than me, just be honest with you. So make sure to check him out. Make sure to check him out.
Yourself in Apex or SVD.
Sometimes. And for me, you can follow me at SugeKnight323 on TikTok and Twitter. SugeKnight1323 on Twitch, where I usually play video games, Apex, like Mr. J said. Sometimes I'm streaming tournaments for Magic the Gathering. And just make sure to watch out for my tweets. I'll let you know when this video will come out. And if you enjoyed it, give us a follow, give us a like, make a comment. Really appreciate it. Hope you all are having an excellent time with the show. Enjoy it, have fun, and be safe. Thank you very much. Have a great time.